touch all your seatbelts, touch all your connections, touch your Hans. Just make sure you get everything like you want it.
Good evening, race fans. Here we at tonight, North Wilkesboro for the Sigma ARCA series here. And it's going to be 163 laps around the very, very neat short track. And so starting on the front row, you've got Finley Herwig and Trevor Vaden. Vaden definitely looking to stack up those wins here in the month of May. Right behind them, you've got Ace Blake and Kaylee Sheets. Blake running that new paint scheme here tonight with Furniture Row as the sponsor. Then you've got Evan Snake and James Gunner. Jaden Anderson with a good qualifying start there alongside Mark Shelton. Wyatt Wilkinson and Skylar Taylor. Donovan Heist and Rand Kataz. Jonah Burridge and Bailey Parker. Craig Bush and Joe Hill. Craig Popchris and Chris K-Green. Chase Kovacic and Ralph Oberstadt. Oberstadt won the last race out, so he too looking to stack up some wins here in the month of May. Then you've got Hamburgerson and Casey Cash. Klein there on the outside, starting pretty deep here in the field. Adam Cruz and Chris Mozzie. Eli the Wolf and B. Roy. Sly Ojima and Alan Chavot. Alex Sanvital and Jameson Thole. Matthew Hubert and Hank Scorpio. Jakov Rosovich and Zach Magoon. William Kinsella Jr. and Gustavo, with Matias Nunez at the very back of the field here. North Wilkesboro has definitely been a welcome sight on all schedules racing-wise lately. Here in the Sigma offline realm of racing, it's provided us with some great racing action. Al Bunch has had some good runs here, and of course that 80 owned by Al Bunch, hoping for a good run here tonight. Finley Herwig hoping to get Bossman another win on the premise here. Always very much chaotic here too. We've seen some wreck fests, very crash heavy. Hopefully we get a little bit of a in-between race where it's not as big of a wreck fest and just great all-out racing here tonight. Vaden on the outside of Herwig here. Looks like Ace Blake, the good run there. Ace Blake got the job done. One of the last few short tracks we ran on back at Langley, getting the win for Atlee at his hometown track. North Wilkesboro has been very good to Atlee as well. Atlee actually won the Cup race here earlier in the season at North Wilkesboro. So to say that at least his team is synonymous with success here, would be relevant. And of course, right there, going to the lead. Ace Blake taking over the lead here. Had a little bit of dust up towards the back of the field. Looks like Matias Nunez was tangled up in it. That's William Kinsella Jr. and Zach Magoon. Cuts right out at that point. Oh, and that's where it all went down right there. No caution, amazingly enough. B-Roy. Looks like B-Roy got bumped into by Thole, and it collected quite a few other drivers in the chaos there. Putting an end of the day for Matias Nunez, sadly. Yeah, he clips the 24 there of Alex Sanvital, and the rest is history there. So, Ace Blake off to the lead here. Stay green. Even though the chaos broke out early in this one, only took about 3 laps to get a wreck. But the more of them that wreck out, the cleaner the race will be. Once you start losing drivers, there's less drivers to wreck. Alex Sanvital and Matias Nunez retired out of the race due to the damage sustained in that first wreck. 34 cars still running. Pretty much 33 cars very much within 7 seconds of the lead. Pretty impressive run there for Evan Snake. We haven't seen him with top 5 pace in this series yet. Same goes for Jaden Anderson there. We have not seen top 5 pace out of him yet either. So running top 5 right now must feel really nice for that 8 team. Of course, I think Al Bunch might have a little bit extra resources here, knowing this track as well as he's run it. They might have the setup wired for this race here tonight. Welcome in, Centennial. Haven't missed a whole lot so far. There was a wreck back on lap 3. Did not bring out the caution, crazy enough as it is. Actually, now I know why. I remember I have cautions disabled since I was testing out road course races, so cautions will be at my discretion whether or not there's a big enough wreck, which honestly might be the best way to do it here at the short track. If they can keep going, do it like your local short track where the flagman decides when to wave the caution rather than let it be automated. Looks like Evan Snake going to second here. They're still chasing down Ace Blake, who holds the lead right now. Evan Snake, impressive. Has quite a bit of pace in that car here today, it looks like. If you compare lap times, currently Ace Blake turning 20.4. Evan Snake turned to 20.5, so Ace Blake definitely has the faster car here so far. Yeah, hopefully I don't miss any chaos, but for the most part, this track, a lot of the chaos comes on restarts when they get side by side for the double file. We'll try to watch from spectator cam here to get as much of the track visible for us. Somewhere during this time, Ace Blake has turned your fastest lap here tonight. He knocked Mark Shelton off that point, where Mark Shelton had the fastest lap somewhere during the initial start here. Mark Shelton has cracked his way up into the top 5, so showing that speed is converting over to track position at the moment. Ace Blake holding off Evan Snake. Blake and Snake, what a tongue twister that is. The battle between Blake and Snake, a lot like the Trevors in our truck series, maybe, who knows. But Snake is closing that gap, and he will be fighting for the lead here before you know it. Al Bunch Incorporated teammates now running nose to tail as Finley Herwig and Jaden Anderson run 3rd and 4th. Mark Shelton in 5th. And 6th place belongs to Donovan Heist, Kaylee Sheets, Skylar Taylor, and Jonah Burridge, with Wyatt Wilkinson rounding out your top 10. Trevor Vaden started up towards the front of the field. He's kind of falling backwards here to 12th. Might be saving his stuff, waiting for a late race push to try and get back up to the front. Mine is P's and Q's in 12th place right now. Because you gotta figure they're gonna start hitting lap traffic before long. 163 laps. There shouldn't be any pit stops here tonight. If we look at the garage, we can see what they say. 157 laps, so it's going to be pretty close. They might actually, if we can trust that, there's no way they'll make it without at least one pit stop. Which what I'll do then, kind of like our local short tracks, we'll have a midway break. That's what we'll do. We'll do it at lap 77. That way everyone can come down pit road, get fresh tires, whatever it may be. We'll give a wave around to a couple drivers to get some more folks on the lead lap. But yeah, no, it'll be more like your local grassroots short track race here tonight. We will do a mid-race break to allow for everyone to get fresh tires, get gas, and then they'll be able to race it out in the second half. Looks like Mark Shelton has worked his way up to 4th, bumping Jaden Anderson back to 5th. Donovan High still running in 6th. Skylar Taylor making some moves, as well as Wyatt Wilkinson from 9th to 8th with momentum to get himself up to 7th here possibly. Evan Snake is not going away. He's keeping it pretty close here to the 77 of Blake. Blake turned a 20.9. Snake turned a 20.9. So these two pretty much have hit a pretty close pace to each other. You got to imagine at this point they're kind of just saving their stuff. There's no reason to race extra hard here. Just kind of minding your business and waiting for an opportunity to make it count. See, I think one of the coolest things about this ARCA series with a spec model that we run with the Pontiac GTO, there's no telling what kind of competition we'll get each night we race this series. I mean, Evan Snake running second is very impressive and somewhat unexpected, but it all has to do with having that spec class. The drivers all have the same powertrain, the same, technically the same car for the most part. There's some of them that can get more out of them by adjusting them to their liking. It really does. It comes down to drivability. If there's a driver out there can wheel these things better than the other, that's where your racing kind of takes precedence here. And just like that, Evan Snake has found an opportunity here to try and get by Ace Blake. We've seen some passes happening here. Looks like Skylar Taylor gets herself up to 6th. And we might have a swap for the lead here soon, if Evan Snake has anything to say about it. And the official statement is we will throw the mid-race caution at lap 77. That way they can get back to racing by about lap 81, which would be halfway. So we're just around halfway to 77. In other words, a quarter of the way through the race here tonight. Evan Snake seems to have lost a little bit of traction there. Let's kind of skim through the field here and see how everyone else is faring. Jaden Anderson's settled into 5th for now. Under attack, Skylar Taylor, she's getting passed by Donovan Heiss there in the 25. Wyatt Wilkinson slowly picking him off one by one, as well as his teammate right there behind him, Trevor Vaden, now back up into the top 10. As he gets by the 78 of Jonah Burridge, Kaylee Sheets, Chase Kovacic. Kovacic is an interesting one. He's been quietly in the conversation for the championship battle. Hasn't had very many bad races, just consistently doing well in that number 62. Then you've got James Gunner, Craig Bush, and Ant Me Person. Matthew Hubert is laps down, racing with Bailey Parker. Rand Kataz. Adam Cruz. Wow, Chris Kagreen running 19th. That's somewhat surprising. We've seen some glimpses of brilliance out of that 10 car. A little bit harder job ahead for him tonight to get a good finish out of it. Joe Hill, who's been a truck phenom at the start of the season this year in the West Coast. Eli the Wolf, Casey Klein, Jakov Rosovich, and Ralph Oberstadt deep in the field here, sitting 24th. He's going to have to work some miracles here tonight to rack that second win up in the month of May. Craig Popkris, Sly Ojima, Zach Magoon, Alan Chavot, William Kinsella Jr., and Chris Mozzie gets you to the top 30. B-Roy, Gustavo, Scorpio, Jameson Thole, rounding out all the drivers on the lead lap, that is, 34th for him. And so back to the front of the field. Ace Blake still leads over Evan Snake. Finley Herwig starting to catch up to Snake. Snake starting to lose some ground to Blake. actually is kind of a peculiar North Wilkesboro race so far. The entirety of the field is fast enough that we're not seeing lap traffic kick in quite yet. That'll be really where the race starts to get into a different rhythm for these drivers, is once they catch up to that lapped traffic and have to fight through them in the tight compounds of North Wilkesboro. Man, I might have to throw it up to a vote for us to maybe utilize more caution-free races and manipulate, or at least manually throw the cautions if necessary. Kind of take like a Formula One approach, I guess, because most of the time Formula One, they aren't going to throw a full course yellow unless there's a fiery crash that needs to be tended to. But this is interesting. It's put together. We've actually got to see a race pace start to develop here, and the different strategies are going to really kick into full gear. It really looks like Ace Blake on a Sunday cruise out there. That would be so cool to match the boss man and get another win at the track that Atlee's won at this year already. Still a lot of racing to go, but definitely looking competitive here today. His teammate Jonah Burridge was up in the top 10 at one point. Burridge has slotted his way back to 13th for now. Still much time for him to move through the field and get back towards the front. Vaden now up to 8th. Wyatt Wilkinson up to 6th. This long green flag run seems to benefit their cars. LFG Motorsports has that long run set up here for tonight's race. Wyatt Wilkinson has probably knocked out about 8 spots here moving through the field. Next on the docket, he'd have to get by Donovan Heist to crack the top 5 for the first time today. But Evan Snake really is looking impressive here tonight. That 27, I don't think anyone had him on their bingo card for a good run here today. We already know that Blake is capable of winning here in the Sigma ARCA series, as they sit in the point standings right now. Ace Blake missed the first few races of the season, but that hasn't slowed him down one bit, as he's made 3 of the 5 starts with 1 win, 2 top 5s and 2 top 10s, and only 1 DNF. He has climbed up to 15th in the points, and only way from here is up the charts even more. If he were to pull off a big move here tonight. He could be all the way up into the top 5 in our point standings and had missed 2 of the races to start the season here. So Chase Kovacic sits 3rd. Trevor Vaden sits 4th. Hamburgerson 5th. Overall, it's Ralph Oberstadt leading the points, due in part to that win last race at Kilcare Speedway. Wilkinson, with 1 win, has worked his way up to 2nd and missed the first race of the season. So Wilkinson definitely moving on up as well. So we're slowly about 15 laps until we throw that mid-race caution here tonight. Ace Blake has led all but a couple laps so far, so he's really looking towards tying up that lead most laps award, bonus points that are on the table. And I don't think he's going to catch lap traffic in the midst of this run. This is intriguing. Very impressive run for the whole field, that they're keeping up the pace and not slowing down the entire field here today. Kovacic up to 7th, fighting with Wilkinson to hopefully start working towards the top 5 here. Top 3 remains unchanged. Actually, your top 4 are pretty much unchanged for the past 30 or so laps. Donovan Heist got up into the top 5, and it looks like our driver that was last in the top 5. Did we have someone else retire? No. I just don't remember Donovan Heist being in the top 5. Skylar Taylor, she was towards the top 5 at one point, as well as Kaylee Sheets. $11 laps to go until we throw our halfway break here. Wow, that's gutsy from Kovacic getting by Wyatt Wilkinson there for 6th. Kovacic on a mission. He wants to get some more points and try to fight for the overall championship here. What's impressive is the fact that Ralph Oberstadt's having a rough night tonight. He's going to drop hard in the points if he doesn't start moving up through the field. We skim towards the back. Let's see if he's made up very many spots. Ralph Oberstadt still sitting in 20th. So definitely they're going to have to look into making some adjustments on that car during the halfway break. And maybe they can start fighting forward for the second half this one. Ace Blake is throwing this paint scheme together himself. It is the pansexual colors, and he wanted to get a head start on it, running it for the month of June for Pride Month. But with the ARCA series, they didn't have very many races in June, so getting a head start on it with May and what few races in June we will have. He's going to run this paint scheme. And really, with, you know, flying out front here, that car's getting the job done here tonight. And how fitting that we're going to have the midway break on lap 77. Once he takes the lap, once it hits lap 77, we will throw the caution. Everyone will finish their lap and come back around lap 78. The pace car will collect them. And I think it'll be a well-needed break here so that we can kind of reestablish the pecking order here and maybe see some other comers and goers with fresh tires, full tank of gas, whether or not that'll change the outcome of this race. Second half, we should still have a pretty good run to the finish that if they keep running at this pace, I don't know if we're going to see lap traffic really play a factor in this race tonight. Those that were involved in that first wreck are pretty much out of the race. So it's a lot cleaner of a field than what we're used to. Usually the cars that get beat up, they don't get knocked out, and they'll be out there holding up the whole field like a sitting roadblock. But that just is not the case here tonight. So somewhat of an experiment on track, and I think it's paying off. We could see more of these races in the future, especially if it's a short track where the cautions just kind of slow up the whole race pace together when we get cautions, like our road course program. So we will collect the caution, yellow flag waving. Ace Blake will finish this lap, and they'll get bunched back up behind the pace car. Most certainly guarantee we're going to see everyone come down pit road, get fresh tires, full tank of gas, and everyone will be ready for the second half of this race here tonight. Looks like the 6 will go ahead and give the wave round here. So that they're 1 lap down rather than 2 laps down. Man, there really hasn't been anyone off the pace here tonight. It's been full speed ahead, great racing. Just now hitting that halfway point for the competition caution. Everyone taking their 4 tires and gas here. Not sure if this is going to change anything. At least it's going to make it interesting for one thing. Ace Blake keeps the lead. Evan Snake comes back out second where he was running. And gaining some spots on pit road, the 25 of Donovan Heist gets up into the top 3 for the first time tonight. Finley Herwig looks like maybe beat him off pit road, so it's going to be Herwig in 3rd, Heist in 4th. Kovacic jumps from 13th all the way up to 5th. Actually, 13th wasn't correct. I think he jumped from 7th up to 5th. We gave the wave round for the 1. I don't think he's going to get another wave round here because we'll be back to green flag racing in short order. Going on our drone cam here to get a little bit different perspective on everything. '29 is Skylar Taylor. She's making an unscheduled pit stop here. Coming in from 9th. I wonder if she had a failure on pit road. Ooh, a mechanical failure. 2 flat tires, not just 1. She had 2 flat tires after pitting. Comes out, 2 punctures, has to come back in and get them replaced. So, what a tough break for the 29 of Skylar. She's going to have to drop all the way to the back. At least it happened under caution, so she's not going to go a lap down. So one thing she's fortunate on is she can still go back out there and race back to the front. She'll have basically just a scuff better of tire life on those tires than those that just pitted for fresh tires as well. So I believe the lights should go off. Yep, this time by lights go off on the pace car. They should get doubled up on the back straight. And so many times these double file restarts have been a game changer here in the Sigma Racing universe. You would think that inside line would be the place you want to start. No. It's usually that outside line that gets the better start. Contrary to real life, where the inside line is king, and that's why in a double file restart the leader gets that inside line in NR2003. But just you watch from the drone cam here, that 27 is going to get one a hell of a jump and might be able to lead the first lap after the restart here. Oh, and I stand corrected. It's not relevant at every track, I guess, but 9 times out of 10 that outside line would have made the move jump. I guess you would say got the head jump, but not here tonight, as Ace Blake, not skipping a beat, takes back the lead here with ease. Kovacic getting up into the top 4 now, looking to get up into the top 3. Donovan Heist under attack by Wyatt Wilkinson. Wilkinson wants to get into the top 5 for the first time tonight. Evan Snake, unfortunately, the big loser on this restart. From 2nd place, he's dropped all the way back to 5th. About to get tackled for 6th here. Wyatt Wilkinson in the top 4. Chase Kovacic right there in 3rd. Finley Herwig really hasn't gone away here tonight, still fighting in the top 2 spots. And we might have potential candidate to battle for the lead here, as you see that 80 of Herwig keeping it tight there with the 77. I'm liking what I'm seeing from Wilkinson as well. You see he runs kind of an alternative line to the leaders. Everyone's about a groove higher, and he's kind of in a mid-groove there. It's more relevant on this front stretch. Watch on the front stretch when everyone spreads out. Yeah, he still kind of kept it down a groove from the ones in the lead there. And this is for us lucky that we get to see this kind of action from the drone cam, giving us a very unique perspective that you don't often see in motorsport. Oh, wow. I think I just saw Chris K-Green up into the top 10 for the first time tonight. So he's really made the most of the second half of the race here. Jonah Burridge in the top 10. Evan Snake, unfortunately, dropping backwards here. Ralph Oberstadt made some adjustments to the car during the halfway break. That car on a rail moving to the front. Oberstadt still has quite a ways to go, but plus 8 spots from where he was running. That's much improved. Evan Snake, man, he's probably wishing that there was no caution. He could have kept chugging along the way the car was running before everyone else got adjustments made. He's went from 2nd to 10th, so negative 8 spots for him. One thing that remains unchanged, though, Ace Blake still out front leading. And now Kovacic wanting to fight for second here with Finley Herwig. This could get interesting. I got to go look back at our stat book here real quick and see just how stout Kovacic's been this season. 2 top 5s and 3 top 10s and 5 starts for that 62 car. And that's all come in the last 3 races. So his first 2 races of the season was a 25th and a 14th. And honestly, the 14th at Talladega, not bad at all. Not as great as his next 3 finishes, however. Pikes Peak, he finished 9th. Langley, he ended up finishing 2nd. Obviously finished 2nd to none other than Ace Blake, so we could potentially see a repeat of that with those 2 duking it out here tonight. Then he had a 4th at Killcare Raceway, so Kovacic just making the best of minimizing mistakes. He is not DNF'd yet this season. He's led in 4 of his 5 races, so he's probably hoping he can get a lead lap here tonight and continue that lead lap, you know, getting lead lap in as many races as he started here this season. Ralph Oberstadt, his stats, I mean, everyone had a bad race at the start of the year. 3.7 Speedway was so glitched and out of control that a lot of drivers that should have done well did really bad there at 3.7 Speedway. One of the reasons why that track will not be returning to our schedule next season, sadly. I was really on board for the Daytona USA cameo of 3.7 Speedway in our series, but just wasn't meant to be. Some drivers were fortunate that they never even got to start that race, like Wyatt Wilkinson, who started after the whole debacle, and Ace Blake as well. They didn't have to race 3.7 Speedway, so they didn't have to deal with the chaos and unrest that fell upon all the drivers there that night. Wyatt Wilkinson closing the door up a little bit here on Kovacic. We are down to 57 laps to go, so really getting down to the nitty-gritty here tonight. Kovacic getting passed by Wilkinson. Wilkinson moving his way up to third here. Gonna look at lap times and see where Ace Blake has a 20.6. Wyatt Wilkinson also turning a 20.6. So these two of your fastest cars on track right now. Neither Wyatt Wilkinson nor Ace Blake have got a win yet here in the month of May. And if you haven't been following the series, the month of May, we're doing a 300 subscriber special. Got some rewards on tap for those that win during the month of May. First win is a profile pic or a banner for anything that you want crafted. We will make it. We'll make a custom banner to your liking that you can use on your social media handles and whatnot. The second win, if you stack up 2 wins, you'll get basically a choice between 3 different rewards. Either a full-size wallpaper, either a phone wallpaper or a computer wallpaper of your choice. I've yet to build one for anyone as we haven't seen that second win yet. Either that or a boost to all your series entries. It'd be a +2 min-max to, if you're in, say, ARCA trucks and Bridge to Cup, it would give you a boost to all 3 of them, which is a pretty good deal. That's during our regular season of upgrades and stuff. That's a pretty spendy upgrade for the most part. Or the third choice is a free paint scheme for the series here. Or we can work it some other way. If you have iRacing, I could do a free iRacing paint scheme as well. So where it gets interesting is if someone in the month of May here racks up 3 wins, they'll earn themselves an e-gift card for $5. And then a 4th win will be an e-gift card for $10. It's been an interesting start to this month of May. There's 19 races that we're hosting in May here, and that means 19 opportunities for someone to get a win. Obviously, there's a few drivers that do double duty. Quite a few of these ARCA drivers also race in the truck series. Some of the truck drivers also race in the Cup or also race in Bridge to Cup. So if they get their wins, they can get it in any class of racing. We already saw Trevor Vaden get the job done last night in the trucks. Vaden, however, not having as great of a night here as his LFG teammate Wyatt Wilkinson, who's in the top 5. Seems like Vaden has started to fall backwards here. Even Oberstadt sitting in 13th right now. Oberstadt got the win last race in ARCA, the first winner in the month of May. So if he gets that second win, he'll be eligible for that extra prize. Wow, Vaden all the way back to 20th. So they missed the setup at halfway there to get that car wired in the right direction. So not looking like Vaden has a shot at getting that second win tonight. Everyone in your top 5 all looking for their first win here in the month of May. But I'm liking this program we got going. We might see this May Madness next year as a kind of a program to get people more interested or enticed with hopping in to see if they're going to get the win each night. Ace Blake kind of doing the same thing he did in the first half, just stretching it out slowly but surely. Lap traffic not playing a factor, so it's really who's conserving their tires the best and making the best moves to get to the front. Wilkinson seems to have kind of plateaued here for the moment. He got by Kovacic to get up into third. But Finley Herwig, this is a good run for him, starting from the front row. Still basically running about where he started the race. Al Bunch must have used the setups that he's had here with Bridge to Cup and Cup to get that one going strong here tonight. We did see the other team car, Jaden Anderson, up the top 5 at one point. But Chris Kagreen also an ABI entry, and he's worked his way up into a top 10 position, running 7th. Jonah Burridge in 8th. Evan Snake 9th. Jakov Rosevich in 10th. Man, Ralph Oberstadt still picking them off one by one. Moves from 13th now up to 11th. And as we set our camera sights on him, it looks like he could potentially get up into the top 10 for the first time tonight, if he can get around Rosevich here in the 43. We're down to 39 laps to go now, so laps eking away from the rest of the field here. Oberstadt making the move to get up into the top 10. This is going to be a big move for him to maintain points and minimize the bleeding. Didn't want to lose too many points being the points leader. Ooh, an unscheduled pit stop for Evan Snake. That's no bueno. Another flat tire? No, maybe not. 29 pitted. That was, yeah, during the caution. So, not sure if Evan Snake had a mechanical failure there or if we're actually seeing... Man, that doesn't make any sense. We went 77 laps without any pit stops, and now they're pitting only 50 laps into this run. So everyone's pitting. That's kind of a mind-boggling move. I didn't think that this would pan out this way, but if everyone pits, we'll get to see one more shake-up of the running order. So maybe it was really just that close from halfway that they didn't think they could go a perfect 77 laps from the restart. $156. Yeah, if they went now, I mean, now for certain they'll be able to make to the finish without a problem. They rejoined the track just about the same running order that they entered pit road. Amazingly enough. Ooh, okay, there we go. As they run, they've fallen laps down because of all the pit stop shenanigans and whatnot. The 80 still hasn't made their pit stop yet, but you can see the pace that 80 is setting. Man, it might have just been a ballsy call by one driver to come down pit road, and that forced the hand for everyone else. You got to imagine, without cautions here tonight, how big of a difference those tires, fresh tires, make. Wilkinson giving the 80 full bumper action here. That's the leader of the race, the 80. And he desperately needs to come down pit road because everyone else with the fresher tires are out hauling him here. Wilkinson just having a hard time finding an opening to get inside of him. Ralph Oberstadt in second. I don't know if they're going to have what it takes to hold on for the finish of this race with everyone else out there on fresher tires. So chalk this one up as one of those bizarre strategy calls that you don't often see pan out when cautions are a thing. The 80 slowing way down here. We're going to keep green because I'm going to treat this as you know, no caution for the rest of the race kind of deal. Ooh, the 13 of Hamburgerson gets tangled up. Man, the 48 has just had a rough night tonight. Oh, Bailey Parker, Hamburgerson. '25. Youch, yeah, the 25 gets into this with nothing of his doing there. Track just a little bit clogged up. That wasn't going to stop anyone else from that happening to. Even if we threw the caution, most of these guys would have still got tangled up in it. And yet the track keeps cleaning itself off, and we continue green. Casey Klein running in second with the very obviously slower laps than those that just pitted. I still feel like this is Ace Blake's race to win. One driver pulls down pit road and that changes the whole trajectory of this race. They knew that the fresher tires were going to be such a huge factor that if you pit halfway through the run, you're going to basically be able to lap the entire field with those fresh tires. Man, I love when a strategy race breaks out. Finley Herwig still hasn't pitted yet, but if we look now, the pace that the 77 is setting, they're trapped a lap down at the moment, but with 23 laps to go, if he continues at the pace he's going, fortunately getting tangled up with all the slower cars that have not pitted, he's going to have to race the entirety of the lead lap drivers to catch up to the leader to unlap himself. Seeing a lot of movement here. He's worked through a good chunk of them. He's going to have to do it twice is the problem, though. If he's turning 21.2s, compare that to your leader who's turning 21.5s. Could still turn out to be a losing battle here for Ace Blake, unfortunately. Their only goal is to have this race go green to the finish. And as you're noticing, there's still more drivers that are committing to pit road little by little that are on this longer run. And that's not what needed to happen for Ace Blake, is there's more wrecking, more chaos. Keeps it clean, keeps it going forward. I don't think the damage is going to strike as badly. Man, they're just losing more attrition. 4 wide ultimately was the cost of the... Your leader is going to start getting tangled up in all this craziness as well. Wilkinson, I think, was involved in it. Yeah, he's pulling down pit road. So unfortunately for Wilkinson, that might be a day ender. Yeah, the carnage is starting to really kick in here as you see full field of cars left on pit road right now. Casey Klein in second. He's not letting it get away from him. He could still find his way with a good finish here tonight. The good of the tires starting to wear out for Ace Blake, though. I don't think he's going to make up near the momentum he was hoping to make when they made that that pit stop halfway through the final run here tonight. Maybe if he gets a little bit of clear track in front of him, he could still... Wow, yeah, look at the times that he's turning. 20.8. He was a full half second faster than our leader. A lot of retirements now, as you see. The 18, 19, where's the 19? Yep, retired. Unfortunately, Wyatt Wilkinson out of the race. No, and Ace Blake makes contact there with Kaylee Sheets. That's some pretty significant damage for the 77 of Blake. This race is really turned upside down. I did not foresee this happening. It's a very interesting experiment we've got going on here tonight. In the midst of all this, Kovacic about to unlap himself. And the way the field is continually wiping itself out, Kovacic now up to 9th. He's turning laps 1 second faster than our leader. And so with 11 laps to go, he could close the gap by 11 seconds, but I don't know if he's going to have enough to catch the leader. Wow, nearly 1.2 seconds faster, so we're going to have to keep an eye on this. Watch the ticker right there. Kovacic, 9th, 21 seconds back. He's going to have to catch the entirety of the field here. Cut off 1 second there, 20.15 with about 8 laps to go. So this may be the only possible chance for this to pay off for another wreck happening. He's having to stay clear of the wreck there. Finley Herwig also having to maneuver around the... Man, laps are running out though here. Kovacic in 9th. Turns a 21.2. 22.003. Six laps remaining. Kovacic has now knocked off another 1.5 seconds. He's turning nearly 2 seconds faster on lap times. But he needs to get around this 14 that's a lap down driver if he wants to really make things interesting here. I'm about ready to queue up a green-white checker so we can at least get a race for the win here. I don't know why everyone decided to pit. That is an AI glitch that I don't think should have happened here tonight. Man, Kovacic, he's going to close it up some more, but there's no way he's going to get 12 seconds in one lap. We're going to go ahead and give them all a green-white checkered restart here. You got to give the AI at least credit for trying something outside of the box to try and pit halfway through that last stretch. It was actually smart because they had fresher tires and thought that they could just charge through the field. But what they didn't realize is passing is at a premium at this track, as it's not as wide as some of the other tracks that they race at. So it wasn't, a guarantee that they were going to make it through as quickly as they hoped they would. So, depending on how things restart here, we could have the caution lined up. I will have it ready just in case. But most likely this race will be settled on one final restart here. And this is mostly a move by myself so that we can at least get some form of an exciting finish here, as the strategy, the AI decided to pull a very glitchy strategy out of their pockets. For what will likely be the final restart tonight here, Finley Herwig and Casey Klein are going to lead them to the restart. Skylar Taylor and Eli the Wolf, Craig Popgris and Trevor Vaden, Alan Chavot, Adam Cruz, Chase Kovacic, and Ralph Oberstadt be your top 10. They're all going to get doubled up for the restart here. There really is no telling how this is going to pan out. Everyone up front has old tires and are going to be very slow and very, very hard to keep them running up front here. really is a heartbreak for Ace Blake. They made that decision to out-strategize themselves, actually. It was a bad call through and through. Casey Klein rolls out. Eli the Wolf in second. And we're going to throw the caution as they're wrecking in the back here. No way. We're going to get one more attempt at a green-white checkered finish here tonight. Skylar Taylor pulling off pit road. Everyone going to pit road here. I don't think they realized. They thought that the race was over. Or perhaps running out of gas as they didn't anticipate any green-white checkered attempts here tonight. They're running them all to the barren edge on fuel line. Fuel. Holy cow. The 80 definitely was out of gas. That's why everyone was wrecking as they were getting held up by the 80. Chase Kovacic in third. Ace Blake 19th. Let's go ahead and wave him around. And so we're in rarefied air now as these guys don't even know what's going on for the most part. Our wave rounds having a little bit of trouble here, waving themselves around the leaders. So we should get back to green here for what will likely be our final restart. Lights are off. And going to lead them to the restart, it's going to be Craig Bush and Sly Ojima. Chase Kovacic in third, Ralph Oberstadt in fourth. As they get doubled up on the backstretch, we're hoping that there's not another cause for caution here. This has been one of the weirder races that we've hosted here in the ARCA series. Ace Blake should have definitely had this race won. He dominated, led the most laps, and just got snake bit with a miscall on pit strategy here today. So second overtime as we try to get it done here tonight at North Wilkesboro. These guys, it's going to be tough as everyone's running kind of low on gas here. Ralph Oberstadt running out of gas, everyone having to pit. No one's wrecking, but Craig Bush, he's going to cruise around, take the white flag here. Another one pulling off out of gas. And it's going to be Craig Bush with the win here tonight, getting the job done for LFG Motorsports. That makes 3 different winners for the team. Coming home in second was Joe Hill, Mark Shelton in third, Eli the Wolf fourth, Finley Herwig fifth, Casey Klein, Alan Chavot, Skylar Taylor, Bailey Parker, Craig Popgris, Ralph Oberstadt comes home 13th, Jonah Burridge 14th, and Chase Kovacic 15th. As even more of them are running out of gas under the final lap here, but Craig Bush gets the job done. So congrats to Craig Bush on surviving the pandemonium here tonight. This just instills my reasoning for not being a big fan of these short tracks in NR2003. We haven't gotten rid of them completely, but sometimes the tracks just do weird things. The AI decided, hey, why not pit halfway through the final run here, even though there's no reason for pit stops, and the rest was history here tonight as it really changed the whole outcome of this race. I guess you gotta make mistakes being rookies in the ARCA series sometimes. Even your crew chiefs kind of rookies at it as well. But that's ultimately why we run these races, because it's unpredictable, and that's why we like it. You never know how things will turn out. The craziness and chaos all in the midst of it all. Gave us another new winner this season, Craig Popgris. This month of May has been filled with first-time winners. Ralph Oberstadt, now Craig Bush, Andre Stefan getting his first career win in Cup. Maybe it's going to be a trend this May that we have a bunch of first-time winners. So thanks everyone for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I know that the race did get a little bit topsy-turvy there, and I tried to carry on as much as we could with what we were thrown at us. Hopefully y'all enjoyed it. Maybe if you get a chance, tune in tomorrow for the Bridge to Cup action. And Craig Bush, I'll be messaging about getting his reward. So thanks everyone. Hopefully have a good night. Stay safe out there. This is Jakester signing out.